and welcome to Just One More Watch. A touch of traditional Japanese music in the intro today to get us all in the mood for another JDM Seiko review. I've been on a bit of a JDM tip so far this year, haven't I? First of all, I bought the SARX 043, the watch that I'm wearing today, and I love it. I then picked up the SARB 033, and I love it. Today I'm going to be reviewing the SARY057, so I've actually been working my way down the JDM ladder in terms of cost anyway. I should point out from the beginning that I didn't buy this watch. This one was sent to me for review by Kenta-san from JapanOnlineStore. You can find a link to their website in the description of the video, japan-onlinestore.com, and I urge you to check it out. They are an absolute treasure trove of JDM watches. Not just Seiko, they've got Casio, Orient, Citizen and even Grand Seiko, all at very competitive prices. So big thank you to Kenta-san. Please click on the link, check out their store and let me know which of their pieces you think I should be reviewing next. I was keen on something from the Prospects range. Perhaps you can leave me a comment and suggest a couple of watches. So the SARY057 then, yours on the wrist for about $300 US. And for that you get JDM quality, you get sapphire crystal and you get a rather natty bracelet. Let's flip the camera and have a look at this one. I suspect I'm gonna love it too. So the SARY057 then. But before I get into the box, I had an idea for a future video that I thought I'd run past you all. What about SNKL23 versus SARY057 versus SARB 033 versus SARX 043? Kind of four-way boxing bout, seeing exactly what you get the more money you spend on a Seiko. So roughly $100, $300, $400 and $550. Leave me a comment if you'd like to see this one and I'll make it happen over the next couple of weeks or so. But for today, let's just focus on the Sari, shall we? So comes in the standard, slightly unspectacular Seiko cardboard box and packaging. 1 year international warranty because you're buying it from overseas. And there is the watch, and kind of classic Seiko design language. A rather handsome big thing, this one, I think. But big being the operative word today, hence big in Japan on the thumbnail. If you're keen on these Seikos but have always been put off by the 37-38mm of the Seiko 5s or even the 38-38.5 of the SARB, this could be the one you've been looking for. 41.5mm in diameter, so it's a fairly chunky watch, especially considering it's not a diver, it's bezel-less, it does look quite big on wrist. 12mm thick though, so not particularly thick. 49mm lug tip to lug tip, though it is worth noting it does have that protruding mid link of the end link, so it does wear quite large, probably effectively 50mm lug tip to lug tip. And sized up for my 7-inch wrist, on the supplied stainless steel bracelet. This one weighs in at 150 grams on the nose, so right in that stainless steel sports watch sweet spot. 316L stainless steel, of course, on the case, the crown, the bracelet and the smooth bezel. Now the bracelet is very nice actually. Solid end links, solid links, just push pins. There is the usual pin and collar system, but I had no problem sizing this one up. A Seiko stamped clasp, though it is only a pressed clasp. Now really, one of my only moans and niggles about this watch is that pressed clasp. $300, I would have liked to have seen a milled one, but we're not getting it, so we better get over it. Case finishing is very nice. The usual mix of brushed and polished. So we've got a horizontal brush on the side of the case, transitioning to high polish, and then again a brush on those lugs. And Seiko S on the crown. Makes a huge difference, I think, that Seiko sign these crowns. I know a lot of their 5s and their cheaper models, they don't bother, but on the SARB etc, etc. They do, and I think a real bonus there. Even the bezel has got two different types of finishes. It's got a brushed ring transitioning into polished, and you get a proper piece of flat sapphire crystal. No AR coating on that, but a nice piece of sapphire nonetheless. And as mentioned, classic Seiko design language there. Couldn't be anything other than a Seiko looking like that, could it? So we've got the applied Seiko logo underneath the 12, automatic in identical script as printed on the SARB 033. Just above the 6, those all important words made in Japan there, either side of the indices by the 6 o'clock, and a day-date complication nicely framed there over by the 3 o'clock. So applied indices, batons, double baton at 12, 6 and 9. And we've got a sort of truncated baton there making way for the date window. Everywhere else just singles. And we've got this slightly over-complex minute track around the outside. Not really necessary having a fifth of a minute markers on there, I don't think, but Seiko do this to a lot of their watches. It's just part of the overall look. Nice Dauphine hands, no loom on these ones, but we do have a couple of different finishes. I hope the camera can make out. You've got a beveled edge in the middle, and we've got a kind of ghost brush finish on one side and a high polish on the other, so a bit of interest there. And a very simple needle second hand pushing out to the minute track, but I think a very handsome, clean, well proportioned dial overall. I think the handset just about the perfect size and scale, nicely in proportion for a fairly large dialed 41.5mm watch. So the surprisingly nice bracelet then. Seiko not known for putting quality bracelets on their watches when they cost less than $500 US, but this one looks pretty good, feels pretty good, nicely finished, nice consistent smooth brushing throughout. 3-link oyster style. Am I even allowed to say the word oyster? Are Rolex going to shut me down as a consequence? I think I'll probably get away with it. Now again, with Seikos, you're never really convinced that the bracelet was designed for the watch. I think they've done a reasonable job of integrating this one, but could have been better, I suppose, but not the worst one I have seen. And there's that little bit of polish on the mid-link, kind of like the Samurai and the Monster and some of their other watches, kind of like the SARX 043 that I picked up earlier on this year as well. So very nice. Again, as mentioned, the only fly in the ointment really is this press clasp, but I'm sure it's something you get used to, and only 2 micro adjust points there. So you're gonna have to get this one sized up correctly. They're fairly sizable links, there's no half links either, so not a huge amount of micro adjust. I suspect though, a lot of people will be taking this one off and mixing it up on leather straps. I think such a plain, simple, classically styled head, I think this one would look great on a variety of different leather straps as well. Popping a link to show you the screw down Hardlex coated see-through display caseback. Now 100 meters of water resistance. It's not a screw down crown, but they do put enough seals in this watch to allow 100 meters of water resistance, so a fair degree of all-round practicality. If you do want to wear this one to the office during the day and then to the beach of an evening, no problem at all. Now the movement contained within, you're not getting the 6R for your $300 US. This is the 4R. So it's the 4R36, aka the NH36. You've seen 100 of these ones if you've been tuned into this channel long enough. I know I have. So Hacks hand winds, 24 joules, roughly 40-hour power reserve, and a stated accuracy of -20 to +40, but they're usually better than that. Let's get this one on the time grapher and find out, shall we? Okay, so there is the SARY in the time grapher, and I'll refocus, and that is a fairly impressive result from, let's be honest, a budget movement in the 4R36. So 21,600 vibrations per hour, you get 6 ticks of the second hand per second. You don't get that smooth high beat sweep, but there we are, plus 4 seconds a day. That's pretty fantastic from a movement at this price. Seiko do quote -20 to +40, as I mentioned. However, you know, quite often you'll get one of these and it'll be a damn sight more accurate than that. So if you picked up this for $300 US or thereabouts, you put it on your wrist and you were getting +5, +6, +4 per day out of the box. Pretty good result. And there is the watch sitting on top of my 7-inch wrist. Now, as noted, it is a slightly bigger Seiko than some of the other ones that I've been buying and reviewing recently, but it still wears well. Nice curvature to the lugs,
and at least that central mid-link of the end link does point downwards, so it does conform to the wrist quite well. 150 grams is reasonable size for this style of watch. I guess it's the kind of everyday, it's an alternative for people who aren't into dive watches but want something with a degree of practicality. They can wear to the office, they can wear to the beach, they can wear it all day, every day really. And that's it, zoomed out a little higher for perspective. You can see those applied indices glinting away nicely underneath the studio lights against that black dial color. 22mm lug width, I should have mentioned that earlier on but failed to. I guess that's in proportion with this slightly bigger case size and shape today. So 41.5 diameter, 22mm lug width. A fairly sizable Seiko for those of you who are bigger guys or prefer a slightly bigger watch. And that bigger size obviously pays dividends when it comes to the legibility of the timepiece. There it is outside in some natural light. Now Seiko don't tend to put AR coating on watches at this price. It's neither here nor there really. I think this one with those silver against the black, the indices against the black dial, still pretty legible. And looks good on wrist as noted. Curved lugs mean it sits nicely on my wrist anyway. So let's put it on a couple of leather straps then, show you what it looks like off the bracelet. This one, if you want to stay kind of black and silver, you want to stick with a monochrome look, this is a Hirsch Ranger Retro that I've had lying around the house for a while. Quite a chunky strap, but I think you're going to have to stay chunky because it is a slightly bigger head. Or if you want to mix in just a little bit of colour, here it is on one of those water retardant leather straps from Spinnaker that I do quite enjoy. And mixing it up a little bit, that dark dial. With a black watch like this, you can get away with just about anything in terms of colour matching straps. So a lot to like about this one then. Clean, classic Seiko styling, legibility, lovely level of finishing. It's a JDM after all, you get that exclusivity. Reliable and accurate if slightly unspectacular movement, and a surprisingly good looking and well made bracelet. What is not to like then? Well, as discussed, the bracelet clasp is the obvious cost cutting measure. Only those little micro adjusts and it's pressed as well. You know, it seems to be the only corner cut with this one. They haven't even gone cheap on the crown today, you get a decent signed crown. The only other neg really is the size. 41.5, 22mm lug width. It's going to be a bit big and bulky for some people, me included. This one's kind of beyond the size that I would normally be comfortable wearing. Certainly in this bezel-less style, it does give the impression of a large watch. But on the other hand, that is going to be exactly what the doctor ordered for some people. People who look at the SARB and look at its 38mm and see that as too small for them. I think this is an excellent choice for them, therefore, people who would be into the Seiko styling, JDM look, but a bigger timepiece. So another JDM Seiko this year. How many more do you think I'm going to tick off before the end of 2019? Well, I guess you know what you're getting, and you're getting a high quality product. You're also getting a bit of exclusivity, the fact that you can't buy these in your local watch shop. You're gonna have to go to JapanOnlineStore or similar outlets for these. Kind of adds to the appeal, undoubtedly, for watch nerds and aficionados like us. So there you have it, another cracking JDM Seiko. Why do they keep all the good stuff for themselves, I wonder? Big thank you again to Kenta-san from JapanOnlineStore for sending me this one in for review. Don't forget to click on the link in the description of the video and check out their incredible array of JDM watches. This one kind of in between the SARX and the SARB. Looks kind of like a SARB, wears kind of like a SARX, and it's got a fantastic bracelet. If only it had a proper milled clasp. And it's a big boy, wears more like the SARX as well. So if you like the look of the SARX but can't quite afford to stump up $550, this is a seriously viable alternative for around $300 US. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.